Texas down there.
There he is, all right.
And this is Representative Hunt.
Great, Representative Hunt as well.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. So this bill has changed many times during the past, 12 days, 13 days we've been doing this. We don't know what the end result of the bill is going to be. I mean, how it's going to morph again. But we're opposing whatever it is, because we do not want any more taxes.
No.
Woo! Woo!
No taxes!
2795 represents at least four things to me. Technology, taxes, minors, and jobs. On the technology side, we all know that vaping is not smoking. It is not tobacco. Vaping is a brand new, advanced technology, and the legislature needs to know about that. On the taxes side, as I just said, as we all feel, we have voted in this state many times, no new taxes. And these guys just want to tax us to death. We're not going to stand, we're not going to stand up for that, are we?
No!
No new taxes. Sales tax is enough.
Sales tax is enough.
Sales tax is
Enough!
Right. When it comes to minors, we don't sell to minors. Nobody sells to minors, and we welcome legislation in this state that would make it illegal to sell to minors. So we support that aspect of this bill. And when it comes to jobs, you all know how many people are going to lose their jobs if this bill passes. Taking our e-liquid and quadrupling the price of it to our consumers is going to prevent a lot of sales. A lot of us are going to be out of business, and a lot of people are going to lose jobs. Washington legislature, you should be promoting jobs for small businesses.
Yeah.
Woo!
So with that said, I'm going to introduce you to Stu Halson, our lobbyist, and then to our legislator.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Vape on.
This has come a long way in just a week. I was contacted by Joe just about a week ago saying, hey, would you like to work for Washington Vape? At that time, actually, we didn't even have a name. We were trying to decide what to call this organization that's working and will be working into the future to advocate for the vaping community, for vapors, for retailers, for manufacturers in the state of Washington. It's an important new industry. As a matter of fact, I was a smoker when Joe contacted me. He gave me some equipment. Haven't had a cigarette in a week.
Yeah!
Very good.
But that's not an unusual thing. You've all seen that. I know you've seen that. Now, as Joe mentioned, this changes from day to day. You know, I see some of you have signs, 75% times nothing is nothing. 2 days ago, that was it. It started out 95%. Then to try and get more votes, they put it to 75%. Just yesterday morning, then they came up with one that they thought, well, maybe we'll get votes for this one. And it changed it to 8 cents per milligram of nicotine. I'm not sure that some of them actually knew what that was, because they saw, like on a bottle, they saw, okay, this is 12 milligrams, which is what I've got. Okay, 8 times 12. They didn't realize it's 12 milligrams of nicotine per milliliter. So that little 15 milliliter bottle that, you know, like just last night I picked up one 24 milligram, 15 milliliter bottle for $9 down in Centralia where I'm from. That would have a tax on it of $28.80. It's getting worse by day, but it's so important that you're here. I really do appreciate it. And now I'll introduce some of our legislators here. Joe, who do you want to bring up first? Actually, the biggest fighter on this thing in the House right now, and the only Democrat on committee who voted no on the bill as it went out, Representative Chris Reichdahl of the 20.
Thank you, Chris! Thank you, Chris!
Well, the first thing I want to do is say thank you, you guys. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you!
I want to say thank you for changing your lives by choosing a product that is so much safer than what so many of you were experiencing before this. You have done something miraculous for yourselves and your families. And here's the thing I got to get my colleagues to understand. You're saving the state billions of dollars in healthcare costs down the road by saying, Now, you heard Stu talk talk about the evolution of the bill, but I just want to get to a couple of points where a Democrat like myself can be in a situation where I am fighting tooth and nail, literally around the clock, to keep any more tax on this product. Number one, my mother died of lung cancer. I am absolutely convinced that if she had been vaping for her 30 years of smoking, she'd be here today and she'd see her grandchildren, which she never met. And they're here today, by the way. You go beyond the personal and you say, what is a liberal Democrat doing not wanting to tax something? Well, I'll tell you why. I believe in fair taxation.
Yeah.
I believe in a state that has our 1% paying less than 3% tax, but folks who are less than $20,000 a year in income
I'm going to put all this on
17 or
YouTube.
18% in tax.
Thank you.
It's just wrong.
It's not for me. It's
And every national
appreciate
study
it.
will tell you the reason Washington State is so out of balance with the other states in terms of our tax fairness is right at the left side of that curve, right where the lowest income families sit, are sin taxes. Alcohol, tobacco, and others. And that's what makes this state impossible for those who have been hooked on cigarettes to actually go out and buy a health care plan, for example. So I want to give you a real-world example. My brother-in-law is 40 years old. He's been smoking for 25 years. He had his daughter 2 years ago. She just turned 2 on February 28th. She's actually a leap year baby. He tried for the first year to quit smoking, and he said, I know I have to quit smoking. A, it's not healthy for me, it's not healthy for her, and I don't want her to see me smoking. He said, but I tried it. He tried the Nicorette. He tried the patch. He did everything he could. Nothing worked. And then he vaped. And he said it is a totally different world. So not only is he healthier, and his daughter is healthier, a year later he's saving $250 a month by not paying outrageous taxes and prices to people. But it's better than that. Because he said, I've never had health insurance in my entire life, and with $250 a month, I might have an opportunity to do that. We sat down on the Affordable Health Care Act website 2 months ago, and he got health insurance for the first time in his life. How was he able to afford that? Because he's vaping, that's why. So we're going to come along as a legislature and say to somebody, you did everything we wanted you to do. We wanted you to stop smoking. We wanted to save you costs. We wanted you to have more disposable income. We wanted you to support small business. And we wanted you to buy your own health care plan. He did all of that, and the answer now is, I'm sorry, we got to tax you some more. No way. No way. Not going to happen. I'll close with this. If this is about addiction, if this is a simple approach to tax addiction, why is a package of cigarettes taxed at roughly 65%? A six-pack of beer is taxed at 6%. It's 43 cents. Now, last time I checked, an 18-year-old can grab a six-pack of beer down in an hour and go kill somebody on a highway. I've never seen anybody kill someone with a vape, by the way. So we're going to take two unhealthy choices and gateways of alcohol and tar-based tobacco, and we're going to tax them less than the one choice that has no public health risk to us. Not going to happen, folks. I will stand with my brothers and sisters on the Republican side of the aisle and a bunch of us that we're building on the Democratic side of the aisle, and we will do everything we can to kill this bill this year. And I really appreciate Joe. More than anybody else to not selling to youth, because when we get that clearly established in policy, there are no arguments left. God bless you guys.
God bless you!
Well, I don't know about the biggest fighter, but he sure packs the ball up, doesn't he? Good morning, or afternoon, I guess. I'm State Representative Graham Hunt. My seatmate JT's here. I believe he wants to say some words along with some other representatives here. I look at this from a very simple approach, guys. How many of you own vaping stores? Woo! Okay, thank you. How many of you employ people?
No.
How many of you are creating jobs? Now let's keep those jobs, huh?
Yeah! That's my job.
You're talking about a tax that's going to kill jobs. You're talking about a tax that is going to take revenue from the state, which is what this this entire organization wants to do is tax and needs to tax to have government. But you're talking about taking this and throwing money to online sales, throwing money out of the state of Washington,
Exactly.
putting business out of business, killing jobs, all because somebody wants to vape it out of, you guys are going to think that I'm funny because I don't have these cool vapes. But I went and bought a vape.
Yeah!
I'm not a smoker, but I went and bought one, so they know on camera.
You're still alive!
I'm still alive. And by the way, they don't taste that bad.
Wait till you get a real one.
Wait till I get a real one.
Here you go.
I appreciate you coming out here and standing in the rain, coming down. I'm sorry that the House is out today. The Senate, I believe, is here. But I appreciate you coming down and willing to take part in this legislative process and sending a message. Now it's time to hold your representatives accountable. It's time to hold them accountable. We don't want to
Vote him out of office.
We need jobs. We don't need to be taxing and killing small business any more than we do already. And it's time to send a message, and I'm so glad that you're here. So thank you for coming.
Thank you!
Well, welcome everybody. My name is Dick Muir. I'm State Representative from the 28th District. I'm 60 years old. I've been against smoking for 45 years. My mom smoked and I hated it. And when I left home at age 17, unfortunately my brothers and sisters got to quit smoking a few years later. And that probably what saved her life and why she lived a normal life. I've been against smoking a lot of years, and my degree's in public health, and I was on the Pierce County Council, and I actually was chairman of the health board. I was on the health board for 8 years in Tacoma, Pierce County. And in January of 2010, we had proposed regulations then in the health department that would have put vaping stores out of business because it would have made vaping the equivalent to cigarettes, and then you couldn't vape indoors. How can you sell a product if you can't even show it indoors? It would have been crazy legislation. But at the time, I'm like, sounds good to me. Well, that's when I met Steve and Kim Thompson, who quickly educated me, and I went from not only understanding cigarettes, but being now a big time, for 4 years, proponent of e-cigarettes, vaping. Let me tell you why. I actually have friends that smoke, including people like Linda Smith, the chairman of the CEO of the Lakewood Chamber of Commerce, which took me about 6 months to a year, but she finally tried it. That was about 3 years ago, and now she's one of the biggest proponents. She had been smoking for 40 years, had quit smoking about 10 times. She's now quit, and she's now got other people vaping. And so why your industry is growing is not because of advertising, because
Word of mouth. Word of mouth.
it works. You guys are doing, I said in the committee, God's work. And I'm going to tell you what I meant by that. Anybody who could help somebody else be better, be healthier, to me is doing God's work.
Yeah.
You are doing what government has been trying to do for years, through advertisement and fancy slogans and, whatever you name it. To get people to quit smoking, spending tens of millions of dollars, and you guys are doing it for free. You're doing it to make a profit, but also because you're passionate about your product. Almost everybody who is in the vaping business is a former smoker.
Myself included.
And you're passionate about it, and you want to not only grow your business, but you want other people to quit smoking. So
Absolutely.
keep what you're doing, and we're going to kill this bill.
Yeah!
My name's JT Wilcox, and we've gotten a little bit interested in this over the last week or so as this sort of came out of nowhere and was so obviously unfair. But there's someone here that I think deserves a lot more credit than the rest of us because he's been involved in this at the county level for the last 4 years, and I know a lot of you know him. He just spoke before me, Dick Murray. In the political world, it's easy to grab an issue that looks hot and get popular for a few weeks, but not that many people stick with it for 4 years. And Dick's the kind of guy that does, and I'm so glad for all of you that we had someone down here who knew this issue backwards and forwards already, and he's been a huge help to all of us. You know, one of the things that happens around here, it's a beautiful building, and it honestly does feel special to walk in here, and it's an honor. But then you get here and you find out that a lot of what is happening here is this constant search for who can we tax more. And in general, what they do is they try to find unpopular groups or people that aren't organized, and especially people that don't have a paid mouthpiece to come down here and fight for them. And they thought that was going to happen with all of you. It's so hard for people to get organized. You know, this is a group of working people, and you know, that's probably why you had a rally on a Saturday, right?
Yeah.
You know, every year there's some really fascinating and unexpected things that happen. For me, that was this vaping bill. First of all, that it came out of nowhere, but second of all, that you have become so effective advocates for yourself, your hobby, your avocation, and your business. And nobody expected, I think, when they scheduled this hearing, that you were going to overwhelm those hearing rooms with people that felt as passionate as you did.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun sitting in that committee here and just watch panel after panel come up. And you can see that some of you were working pretty hard to kind of keep it together and not say what you really thought. Actually, it doesn't hurt us around here to hear what people really think sometimes, because we don't get enough of that. We're going to do our best. We're going to fight this thing hard. I think it's going to be very difficult for the proponents to get this through the House and the Senate, because it just, you know, fails the lab test. It's obviously unfair. They obviously thought that you were a powerless group that they could pick on, and you've proven that you can't. So keep going.
Is Tim Thompson around? There you are.
Hi, you guys. For those faces that I don't know, I'm Kim. I own the Vape 4am, and I just want you to know that this is just the first day of the rest of our days for this activism, and it's not going to stop here even if this bill does get killed. I'm so proud of my community, or this community that I'm involved with, and all the vape shop owners that have come together to really create something that's going to move forward. And I just want to tell you, Washington State vapors are like no vapors in this nation, and we're going to take this all the way across the country.
And most of all, thank you, people, for taking the time to come here. We have manufacturers, distributors, retailers, and fellow vapors here. We're a community that's going to be growing. They're going to hear from us again, and again, and again. So thank you for coming today. So vape on.